Good Morning Gwinnett, a division of Noise Media Network, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, sharing stories about people and places around beautiful Gwinnett County and beyond. Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Southern living at its best.
Good morning, all my Gwinnetians out there in Gwinnett land and all of you around the world listening to the sound of my voice. It is a beautiful, chilly day here in Gwinnett County, 45 degrees, only going up to a high of 52 today. Isn't that crazy? Like yesterday it was like 70, today it's like 52. I don't know. I thought it was spring, but now today it feels like winter again. But that's okay, because it's still a good day and it's not raining. Even though I went out yesterday in the rain, y'all know I hate being in the rain, but I went in the rain anyway because I had to go out and I had to network last night, which is pretty cool. I was over at Timeless Entertainment Group. They have a beautiful studio in Peachtree Corners called Timeless Entertainment Group, and it's 27,000 square feet, y'all. So if you're looking for a space to do pretty much anything, you got a space over there. That place is headed up by Jamila Wickerson, and she's going to be doing some great things, and so am I with her. She's the publisher of the Hype magazine. So if you know anything about Hype magazine, it's been around for a long time with a huge following of people, and now they have a beautiful space over in Peachtree Corners, and so I'm excited about partnering with them. So we'll be talking more about what that looks like in the future. But I got to go ahead and get on with my day because I got a guest this morning. Y'all know it's Thursday and I got this morning. I got my good friend up shortly, and we're gonna be talking about live stream podcasting, how this industry is changing, not only changing lives but changing the way we view entertainment. And I'm telling you, there's some great things coming down the pike. But before I do that, y'all know it's April 1st, so watch out for all the April Fool's jokes because you know they're coming. It's April 1st, so I got to be very careful. I got to make sure, because I'll be upset somebody try to prank me. So I got to make sure I got to listen, make sure that nobody's trying to April Fool me. It's also National Sour Bread Dough Day. So if you like sour bread dough, and it's National Burrito Day. If you like burritos, go get you one. All right. We're going to go ahead and get on with our horoscopes brought to you by Noted Astrologer Michael Dawson for today, April 1st. So for all you April Fool babies out there, happy birthday. Happy birthday to all the April Fool's babies. How about that? How about being born on April 1st? I wonder who decided to name April 1st April Fool. I need to look that up and see what the history is behind that whole April Fool's Day. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on our horoscopes. We're going to kick it off like we always do, and that is with Aries. Stomach problems could prevail if you haven't been watching your diet. Insincere gestures of friendliness may be misleading. Don't let others bully you into agreeing with them. Listen, just say no. Don't let them bully you today, Aries. If you don't agree with them, you don't agree with them. Stand your ground. Say no. I'm just saying. Taurus. You will have to do a lot of running around, so be prepared to fall short of your expectations. Don't let peers distract you or push their work on you. Yeah, don't. Tell them no. Do their own work. You will be accident prone if you aren't careful today. Be careful. Watch your step. Watch how you're driving. Watch how you open the doors. Don't walk on the ladders. It's April Fool's Day. Don't do any of those things. None of that stuff today for you, Taurus. Gemini. Emotionally, things may not run as smoothly. Put your efforts into your work or money-making ventures rather than emotional life. Okay, don't be so emotional. Focus on the money, baby. Get the bag. Be careful not to reveal private information. Keep your business to yourself today, Gemini. If you don't want it out, don't tell nobody. That's the easiest way to do that. A lot of times we want to tell people stuff. Don't tell nobody. Keep your business to yourself today. If it's private, don't share. Cancer. Investments will cost more than you anticipated. You are best to do your research before taking on such a venture. You will enjoy events that lean towards theater, art, and music today. Yes, Cancer, go out there, enjoy yourself, get a little music in your life. Music is great. Now, listen here, if you're about to get into some ventures, though, do your research. Make sure you do your research, do your due diligence. If it's a contract involved and you don't understand it, hire a professional. Don't go signing on the dotted line until you know what you're signing on. Leo, you can expand your circle of friends if you get out and socialize. Do not give your heart to someone who may not live up to their standards, to your standards. That's right. Keep your heart to yourself. You can make or break your personal relationship today. Listen, guard your heart, Leo. Everybody can't get our heart. So guard your heart. If they don't live up to your standards, I don't know what your standards are, but if they're not living up to them, don't give them your heart. Don't do it. Virgo, you will expand your circle of friends if you join groups. Take time to catch up on gossip and make plans to do a little adventure travel. Today is not the day to try to corner people by giving them ultimatums. No ultimatums today. It's going to backfire on you, Virgo. Don't do it. It said catch up on your gossip. That's such a waste of time. No gossip. I don't agree with that one. No gossip. But expand your friend circle. Join some groups. Go join some real groups. I know everybody's virtual right now. Let me tell you, it's really good to be out and about, to be around people. I'm not going to even lie. Ooh, it felt good to be out. Even though we were very socially distant because the place was huge, it still felt good to be in the presence of other people. I'm not going to even lie to you. All right, I'm going to a song. I'll be right back after the song to give you more of the horoscopes brought to you by Noted Astrologer Micah Thias, and stay tuned.
We're stuck in between, life is a riddle, yeah. And I don't know what it means, no. This is what it feels like. But you're not alone, 'cause I'm just like you. Let's share out and hitchhike. There is nothing we can't do.
Welcome back. It's your girl, Audrey Bell Kearney, giving you the daily horoscopes brought to you by Noted Astrologer Micah Thias. We're going to pick it up with Libra. You'll be able to close any deal successfully. Work quietly on your own. Find ways to mellow out. Find ways, meditate. Do some deep breathing. I do that. It's beautiful. It's a crisp day, but it's still nice outside. It's not raining. Go outside in nature. Mellow out. Scorpio, you may feel a need to make changes to your legal documents. Don't turn down offers that include sports activities or children. Be aware of any emotional deception. Don't sign legal contracts or documents today. Scorpio, not today. Don't do it. Don't sign any legal documents or contracts. However, if you feel like you really, really have to, Make sure you understand what you're signing. If you don't know what you're signing, please consult a professional so they can look it over for you so you don't sign away your children. Okay? Okay. Sagittarius. Lovers will be less than accommodating and decisions regarding personal directions a necessity. You may have the opportunity to get involved in some interesting conversations. Partnerships could prove to be lucrative. Okay? Interesting conversation, lucrative partnerships. Sounds good to me. Do you think, Sagittarius? Capricorn. Romance may be likely if you travel. You will do your best work on your own. You might have a problem hanging on to your money today. Uh-oh. That money's going to slip through your hands. You're going to have a problem. Listen, if you like me, you like to shop. I don't like grocery shopping, y'all. Y'all know I don't like grocery shopping. But clothes shopping, it's a sad occasion. My husband's birthday was Tuesday. And so we have a big dinner tomorrow. No, what's the day? Saturday with his boss. His boss is taking us to dinner, right? And so we supposed to went to got just some slacks. So we get in the store, I see slacks, I see these shoes. I'm like, get those shoes. He's like, I'm not getting those. I'm like, get the shoes, they're nice. It was crazy. I love clothes shopping. Food shopping, miss me all the time. Aquarius, any intimate relationships with colleagues will lead to gossip that could easily affect your position. Matters pertaining to work must be completed before you leave. If you're uncertain about your feelings, keep your opinions to yourself. Listen here, I told y'all about them work relationships. Don't do it. You got to go to work with that person. If y'all break up, you got to see that person. I told y'all I did that already. I did that with my ex. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun when the new girlfriend wanted to decide that she want to stop by my desk and he's at the desk. It's not fun. Don't do that. Just don't. It's going to be ugly, especially if y'all don't stay in love. All right, last but not least, my fellow fish Pisces. Drastic changes regarding your personal attitude are evident. Relatives would not agree with the way you are dealing with your personal problems. You can solidify your relationship if you plan a special evening with your mate. Now listen, if y'all know me, y'all know I really don't care what people think about my decisions, right? If they're not happy, listen, fish, I don't know about you, but long as my personal decisions don't affect them, I don't care what they think. I don't care. I just don't. If it's not affecting you, oh well. In the meantime, get out there, solidify that relationship, plan a really nice evening, go get a lobster, have some steak. Y'all know I said lobster first because y'all know I like seafood. Yeah, I love seafood. My uncle asked me this morning because we left the networking event. Of course, I love seafood. I eat it 3 or 4 times a week. And he said, you went to go get some food. Then I was like, yep. Crabs, yep. That's what I did. All right, listen, that's all the horoscopes I got for today. I'll be back again Monday at 10 a.m. to bring you more of the horoscopes brought to you by noted astrologer Micah Thotson. Now let's get on to this show. I'm excited. So my guest today is a good friend of mine. His name is Chris Stone. He is the president of Cast Ahead. He's been in the music industry for 25 years. He was working at Sony before he decided to jump into this crazy world of podcasting and live streaming, which I'm glad he's here because now I'm not alone. It's a lot of us right now. This is a powerful industry. Chris has produced videos for keynote speakers like Victor Antonio and Sam Silverstein. He also hosts a show on Amazon Live called Dealcasters with his co-host Jim Fuse. I've been on that show. Thanks, Chris, for having me on that show. Listen, Chris is doing big things here in Gwinnett County. I'm excited to have him on the show, and we're about to do some even bigger things to put Gwinnett on the map. Like, it's so funny because I've been on shows with people, right? And they say, oh, you're in Gwinnett County? We've been on the map for voting. Like, because of the whole thing last year with the election, that put Gwinnett on the map. Chris and I and some other folks here in Gwinnett County about to put Gwinnett on the map for a whole nother reason other than voting. Without further ado, welcome to my show, Mr. Chris Stone.
Good morning, Audrey. Good morning, Gwinnett. I am honored to be on. Man, I tell you what, I'm sitting here listening to you, and I just, first, since the past story, they hear somebody and then they see him later, and they don't think it's the same person. I tell you what, that is Audrey Bell Kearney, live that, and when you see you in real life, that's what you get. And I love listening to you, and I didn't even know that you were fellow fish.
I am a fish. I am a fellow fish. Yes, I am.
Okay. So then which one was it that the money slipped? You were like, uh-oh, money's going to slip through your hands. I forget which one that was.
That is going to be Capricorn. They're going to have problems hanging on to their money today. Yes, it's going to slip right through their fingers.
Yeah, but you're talking about a lot of them was, some people go into groups and meet some other people, and you were talking about the thing you went to last night. It's really good to be around people, and you and I met a year and a half ago, I want to say,
yep.
For a podcast meetup that with George had together. Shout out to Georgette as well, because she's awesome and she's got to do with why I'm here as well. The only reason why you and I are together, the only reason why I have an Amazon live show is because I went to that meetup, and then you said you need to meet Mark Deal from Podcast Atlanta, and then we went to another meetup, and there was Jim Fuse, and I met him. And then fast forward a year later, I've been doing an Amazon live show on Amazon since July, and we had you on that show, and you just taught the world how to set up Alexa flash briefings, and that is one of our top viewed shows. So
wow.
Thank you for being on, Audrey. And I know you had some fun. I saw you did a write-up on it, and it's just a crazy, crazy ride that we've been on for the past, I guess, year, but it never would have happened if you wouldn't have set up that meetup and, so-and-so meets so-and-so meets so-and-so, and then that's where success can start to build. So thank you.
You're welcome. Every time I hear those stories, I think about, have you ever read the book, The Butterfly Effect?
Yeah.
It always sounds like that. Like it sounds like the butterfly effect. And if you've never read that book, please go. It's a very quick read. Like you could read it literally in a day. It's a little tiny book, but it just shows you how things could spur from one thing. Like I got here to Georgia, I met Chris. Who knows what great things we're going to be doing later? But it's that whole butterfly effect thing. And every time I hear that story, I hear these stories all the time lately, which is kind of crazy, Chris. Like I met somebody who introduced me to somebody who led me to somebody, and it's like, okay, that's the butterfly. And for some reason, that keeps popping into my head. That book, I read that book a long time ago, probably 20 years ago, and I gave it to somebody, and it's been passed around. I've never gotten it back. Like it just got passed around, so it's floating around here somewhere. But if you haven't gotten a chance to read the butterfly, it's a very old book. Not the Butterfly Effect with Ashton Kutcher. Not that. That's the movie. Not that one. There's a book.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's you and I talked earlier. We were talking before we went live this morning, and we were talking about what you can and you can't control. And I think a lot of people, it doesn't matter if you're doing a podcast. It doesn't matter if you're doing a YouTube channel. You may be writing a book, or you may be wanting to start a business here in Gwinnett, or any of that stuff. But what you're in control of is your attitude. And I think a lot of people, they get stuck. And they get stuck with technology, or they get stuck with comparing themselves to someone else, or have imposter syndrome. And if you're afraid to go, in public, I get, especially what's happened over the past year or so. But there's ways to do it: social distancing, keeping yourself safe. The vaccine's getting out there. I think people are getting more comfortable, and I think it's time that people, start to get together, even if it's work on, connecting with people, meeting people, networking with people, and, being vulnerable, transparent, and it can only lead to good things. You just can't let this other stuff get in the way from having you get out there and networking with people.
Yeah, Chris, it was when the COVID first hit. We had just came back from Podfest. Remember that? That was the last thing we did. Yeah. We just got back from Podfest. And so about a week after that, my uncle passed away from COVID, like literally. And when he passed away, I shut down my studio. I was like, okay, I'm never going back out the house again. A week later, the best man at my wedding passed away from COVID. I was totally done. So after that, I was like, I'm never going back out. But from April until December, we were pretty cool. We had been, very careful. And then Christmas, my whole family got COVID, y'all. The entire family. And my granddaughter went to daycare, and someone exposed her, and she exposed the whole family. She's 2 years old. She was a year at the time. And my daughter got a call that she had been exposed on December the 18th. December 26th, we were all sick. And my mom passed away on January 5th. And I got to tell you, that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I'm still struggling, but I get up every day and I thank God for waking me up. I thank him for waking up my family and friends. And I thank him for giving us peace and healing in our hearts, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to go on. And then, of course, we lost Marvin, and that was just another blow. And so it's like, okay, Lord, seriously, are you mad at us or something? That's what and you don't want to question God, but that's what I was like, listen, did we do something?
Right, yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, you know what? This is the moment in time, Audrey, where I'm kind of glad I didn't do a video, because I might have something in my eye right now. There may be somebody cutting onions around me, but I mean,
wow.
Seriously, sorry for all of those losses.
Yeah.
And to hear your story of resilience through this, you're obviously you have the right mindset. There's a lot of people that don't. There's a lot of people that hopefully are inspired by what you've gone through and the losses you've experienced. And here you are, just as powerful and happy as ever. You have, your faith and the people around you and the family that is here around you sort of supporting you. And it's great to hear. You also said, it wasn't easy. It was hard. And I think people need to hear that. People need to say, okay, these things are hard, but there's a light at the end of this thing. You've got to keep moving. You can't let this thing get you, into dark places and keep you from moving forward and doing things that, impact, not just Gwinnett County, right?
Yeah.
That can impact the world.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of impacting the world, Chris, that's what we do, because we do this live streaming. This thing, even though we're located right here in Gwinnett County, this show is in over 100 countries, y'all, around the world. And so let's jump into no more sad stuff. Let's jump into the meat of what this interview is about. Okay, so tell us, first thing I want to know, how you worked at Sony. Why did you leave Sony? Everybody, that's like a dream job for a lot of people. Why did you leave?
Music has always been in my DNA. Father, growing up, had always had some jazz, big band playing, and I just fell in love with music, and I was nerding out on who played on what, and of course I still have a huge affinity for hard bop, 60s jazz, from Miles Davis to John Coltrane and everything in between, and I give that to my dad. But I eventually started learning how to play music, and of course every band in the Detroit area needs a bass player, right? Everybody's got a singer, everybody's got a guitar player, and everybody's got a crazy drummer, but we got to find a bass player. And so, I learned how to play the bass and fell in love with it. And, when you're young and you're playing and on stages and you get that bug, you think you're going to be a star. Mm-hmm. And so I always seemed to do the business with the bands. A lot of people were, writing the music or just performing. They didn't want to do the hard work that is the business of a band, which is booking the gigs, and it's, talking to club owners, going to college radio stations and doing interviews and setting all of that stuff up and doing the merch and, all of those things that you do when you're in a band. I actually did it all for a lot of bands and, started to learn the business. And originally when I was growing up in the Detroit area, wanted to a science degree and learn how to make computer applications. And so I have a real technology affinity. And back then, Audrey, that there was no such thing as digital music. There was no such thing as, going live on YouTube and all of that. That was just a gleam in Bill Gates' eye. And so we were, doing whatever we can. But I was always interested ever since digital became a thing. And so fast forward, moved to Nashville because I wanted to learn the music business while still playing in bands. Members of bands, moved down to Nashville and went to school there, learned the music business, and was hired by BMG, which merged into Sony, and had a job the day after I graduated. And so I started at Sony then as a field marketing rep, and traveled throughout the Southeast to record stores. Remember those? Mm-hmm. And I would do things like count records and take artists to in-store signings and hang up displays and I would bring the band with me and do little tours throughout that area. So I was doing all of these things simultaneously. and got pretty good at what I was doing from a business perspective. And, eventually you got to grow up a little bit. You get married, start having kids, and the dream of being some star. We got snipped from record labels, and we had little things here and there, but it was time to grow up, and I got offered a large position from Sony to move back to Atlanta and the Southeast, and eventually digital and mobile and streaming business for Sony based here in Atlanta. So that's kind of like the long answer to your question, but that music aspect, believe it or not, is it aligns perfectly with podcasting and with live streaming, because for years I've dealt with creative people, and whether it's an artist manager or an artist themselves or whatever. At the end of the day, they just want an album, want it everywhere. They want to be able to do what they do best, which is make music and perform. And so if someone else can handle that, they want to know how the sausage is made. They just want that. And so when it comes to making a podcast in the business that I started, Cast Ahead, at castahead.net, when it comes to doing that, I work with creative people, whether they're motivational speakers or sales trainers or celebrity hypnotists or whatever. If they just want an intro video when they go on stage, they don't want to know anything. They just want to give me all of their clips, all of their information, and just do me good. And so the podcast, I don't have to tell them all of that stuff that goes into it. I just deliver the podcast to them.
Wow, that's pretty cool. It's so funny. I want to back up for a second. You said I was working, but I wanted to learn the business of music. So I went to Nashville to learn the business. I think that's what a lot of people, they kind of get it wrong. Like you can work in this space and still learn about it. If you're like, trust me, Chris and I probably study podcasting a lot. Like we're like deep into it, but we podcast too. So we're doing it because now I need to tell people, well, I use Spreaker, and this is why I use Spreaker, and this is what you need to look out for Spreaker if you're going to use Spreaker, and this is why you may not want to use Spreaker. I can tell you that because I use it. It's almost like the Rogaine commercial. I'm not just the owner. I'm a client. That kind of thing. Remember that commercial?
Exactly. Oh, exactly. Like people will trust or know that you carry the bag too, and it's just like I'm sure we all have bosses or managers, and they will say, "Hey, you need this, that, or the other," but never done your job, and so it's hard to trust that person that they know what they're talking about unless they've actually done it themselves. And you're exactly right. It's like, how can I speak to some of these people that I work with confidently? Hey, you need to do this because you're picking up reverb in the back, and there's this piece of equipment that you need to add to your mix because it's going to do this, that, or the other. Unless I had done it originally myself, I need to understand how that sausage is made so that I can apply that to what I do with the clients that I work with.
And that's so cool. It's so funny because whenever you work with creative people, Chris is so correct. They don't want to know nothing. They just want to create. If they are creative, they sew, if they make clothes, if they make music, if they make art, they don't want to know anything about the business side. They just want to create. And they need somebody to help them do the business side. That's why what he does is so important. And I know because I work with creative people and I'm like, oh my God. Like they could care less about the business side. They just want to create, which is fine. This is why you have experts in the field, whatever field it's in, to say, you know what, I can handle that while you handle this. And that's a good thing. So Chris, I know that you said podcasting changed your life. How did that happen? What do you mean by that? It changed your life?
Well, I didn't expect, and we talk about what we're in control of and what we're not in control of. I don't think I was in control of this. I didn't expect really to be in podcasting. I expected to be in the music business all my life. I really did. And so, I've got dear friends, Carlos and Catherine Green, who have a marriage ministry, and they're coaches, and they work with couples to empower them and strengthen their marriages. And, I had always wanted to do something with them to help them and to work with them. They're, as I said, they're dear friends of mine. And we kind of tried to do some stuff with Spotify and and some music related stuff. And then one day I was like, and I hadn't ever done really a podcast or anything. And I said to Carlos, I said, hey, you guys need to do a podcast. And Carlos says, yeah, that would be awesome. And of course, in my mind, I'm thinking the two of them would do a podcast, and they would, interview other couples or whatever they need to do. And so he says, yeah. He said, I'd love it if you could help us with that. So I was like, okay. So just like you, I wanted to learn everything I want. I dove into the deep end on podcasting, and I learned everything I could possibly learn about podcasting, and drove my wife insane just buying all this stuff and talking to her about all this stuff, which she doesn't care about, and putting together a studio, and getting ready to get this thing going for them. And so we were ready, we were set. I had my Roommate 6 hooked up. I had the studio. I had the mics going on. Everything was set. And while I was setting it, weeks before, Carlos says to me, you and Sonia should be on the podcast with us. And of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, we're going to be the guest, first guest of his podcast, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, we absolutely should. And so I talked to Sonia, my wife, and I said, hey, Sonia, so we're going to be the first guest on Carlos and Catherine's podcast. And she's like, okay. She wasn't real super confident about it and never done it. So we go down to the studio, Audrey. I got everything hooked up. I hit record, and Carlos says, welcome to the Power Couples Rock podcast with Carlos, Catherine, Chris, and Sonia. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. We're going to be on this podcast?
Wow.
So, and really what it turned to was it just, it strengthened our friendship, but also, this is the great thing about podcasting, Audrey, and you know this. You get to choose the people that you surround yourself with. Mm-hmm. You get to choose the work that you're in. And so when I sit down and I edit a podcast and I'm on a podcast, something like that's positive, that strengthens your marriage, it's like you're getting free counseling. Mm-hmm. You're getting free inspiration that can help you and motivate you. And so even if you're not a podcaster and you're listening to Good Morning Gwinnett, you're getting inspiration from Audrey Bell Kearney. But podcasting is there's so many niches out there. So if you're into knitting, I'm sure there's a knitting podcast that's awesome. If you're into, I don't know, refrigeration, probably some podcast about it. And but certainly tons of stuff that will inspire you and, sort of get you past some things, go for a run or on your commute or whatever that will get you motivated to do great things.
This is such a powerful platform, and I talk to people all the time about it, and I think a lot of people still think of it as just the thing. Like they don't. Not for me, I look at it from a business perspective. Like for me, I'm growing a brand. Like if I'm in 100 countries around the world, I'm on Amazon and Roku and all these streaming platforms. To me, that's branding. So if people and it's so crazy because I was putting up. So what I do, Chris. On Thursdays when I have guests, I'll take the podcast and I'll put it on the Noise Network. And Noise is syndicated on Roku, Fire TV, Android TV, and Apple TV. So I put it there, and I was looking at my numbers yesterday. I get a lot of plays from my website, but I'm starting to pick up a lot of podcast plays from the platforms. And I was like, that's pretty nice. I was looking at the analytics, like, okay, that's pretty nice. So people are now listening to this show on their televisions, which is really cool. This is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because, there's a lot of places that, you tuck it. I'm a big believer that you tuck your podcast everywhere that you can tuck it because you never know where it's going to be found. And this, right now, if you Google Audrey Bell Kearney, you're going to get a million different things that are you. You're not going to get any other Audrey Bell Kearney. You're not going to get a bunch of junk. You're going to get you. And the more places you put your stuff and the more places you are, the better you can be found. And like you said, your brand is in 100%, 100 plus countries. And I'm sure you've received business because you have branched this thing out all over the place on the internet. And so that's that's really what it's about as well. That's the beautiful thing is, in a way, it's kind of like, you remember pirate radio back in the day where, someone would, you'd be out on a ship out on, and you broadcast your signal, into the United States from wherever, and broadcast whatever you would want. I mean, how crazy is it that you right now can speak into this and it's going all over the world, and that we have that kind of, potential influence and impact for whatever you've got. Like I said, you'd want to impact the world for knitting, then go for it. You could do it. You're like a pirate, times 1,000.
And trust me, people will definitely Google you. I was doing a book signing a couple years ago, and the woman came over to my table, and she looked at my books, and she picked it up. She looked at the back, and she walked away. She spoke or whatever, but she walked away. She didn't buy a book. She came back about an hour later, and she picked the book up again. Like, I think I had 3 books on the table that I had written at the time. She picked the book up again. She said, "I want this one. Can you sign it for me?" I said, "Sure." She said, "Yeah, I just Googled you." And I started laughing. I said, "Well, what did you find?" She said, "A bunch of amazing." Then she just started talking, because like a bunch of amazing stuff. And she's like, "Oh my God, I didn't know who she was." It was crazy. So people will Google you. And so you need to make sure that you're putting out content, so when they Google you, they find good stuff. I'm not a big social media person. Like, you'll see me every now and again on social media, but I'm not big social media. But I'm big on press releases. I'll pop a press release out in a minute. So, you gotta stay out there. You gotta be out there. Now, Chris, let's talk about Amazon live streaming. Because listen, y'all. Here I am, right? I've been in the streaming media since 2013 when I launched my first TV platform called HerTube, right? Did not know that Amazon did live streaming. Did not know this until I was on Dealcasters with Chris and Jim. And so I get on there, and so I know Chris don't like to think of it like HSN, but when I got on there, I felt like I was a star on HSN, because I felt like I'm on Amazon. My books are in a carousel, and we're talking about the microphone that I use in podcasting. So tell people about the power of Amazon Live. And for a lot, I felt crazy. Like, I can't believe I didn't even know Amazon did live streaming. I didn't know. I had no clue.
Yeah.
So let's talk about
it's
that.
crazy. Amazon's been doing it for about 3 years, actually, but they only just started last year opening it up to the Amazon influencers. So they, of course, they can roll it out in beta or whatever. So once they roll that out, me, I gotta go. I gotta get in. I gotta, I test out everything. Especially Jim Fuse and I. We wanna go in. Like whether it's Clubhouse or whether it's Amazon Live or whatever the next thing is. You want to get in. You want to figure it out, and be able to apply it to what we do. If it does apply, or somehow work it so that we can teach and do consulting like we do for all digital marketing. But Amazon Live it's absolutely crazy how many people will go onto the platform and watch your videos. We did Prime Day, we did Black Friday, and one other major sale, and we're on the platform. And you see tens of thousands of people watching you talk about products.
Wow.
And so what Jim and I did is we decided, we were already doing podcasting. We're already doing live streaming. We're already interviewing great people like Audrey Bell Kearney or Chris Krimitsos from Podfest, or Dave Jackson, who's a Hall of Fame podcaster, who's an author. And we said, you know what? All of these people have things for sale on Amazon. So why don't we do interviews with those people and talk about what stuff they had for, which maybe, it could be any type of product, and mostly, they're authoring some books like yourself, but also you have a microphone, you have headphones, you like certain things that you use for your business. And so it's like, well, let's put those in the carousel as well. People are inspired, and they buy those things while we're interviewing. We don't treat it necessarily like HSN or QVC or something like a lot of influencers do on the platform, just because, we couldn't possibly own everything we talk about. So that's how we love having guests on, because it's like, if you like a Blue Yeti mic, but I don't have a Blue Yeti mic, we'll talk to you about a Blue Yeti mic, because guess what? Not everyone loves my voice. Not everyone loves Jim's voice. Not everyone is going to trust me. But if we have Audrey Bell Kearney on, if we have Ramon Ray on, if we have other influencers and people like you or like them, like another person, and they trust that person, they're like, I like the way she sounds on that microphone, I'm going to buy it. And the crazy thing, Audrey, is, and I know when I told you this, you were like, okay, I'm signing up, is like you get, when someone goes and watches your show on Amazon Live and they click on your show and then maybe they look at your book and maybe they decide they're not going to buy your book. But while they're on Amazon for the next 24 hours, anything they buy, you get a commission from. So when, a lot of us, and if you're an entrepreneur and you're listening to this right now, or you're a business and you're listening to this right now, you probably have what's called an Amazon Associates account, which is they give you a link, and if someone buys that product from your link, you'll get anywhere from 2 to 10% of a commission from the sale of that item with no extra cost to the person who purchased it. Well, on Amazon, they come to the mall to buy. So if you have an Amazon affiliate link that you stick in your podcast show notes, or that you put on an email blast or on your website or on your blog or whatever, they may not be ready to buy when they go there. They may be driving in their car. On Amazon Live, I equate it to, you're in the mall. People have come to buy. They're ready to look at you as the expert of whatever you're talking about. Could be a microphone. Could be it could be anything that's for sale. And the crazy part is that 24-hour cookie. Because, Audrey, I've sold tires. I've sold facial cream. I've sold makeup, and trust me, I'm not putting makeup on my show. It's because people go, they watch our show, and they decide later they're going to buy something that has nothing to do with my show, but I get the commission from it.
That is so crazy. Every time he tells me this, my mind is just blown. Now, here's the thing, though, Chris. Everybody can't just go sign up to Amazon. Have they changed the process? Because I know when you guys had me on the show, it wasn't like, I want to go be on Amazon. You can be on there. Have they changed it or relaxed the rules a little bit so other people can get on? Or is it still kind of like a secret, like we pick who we want kind of thing?
Yeah, there is some regulations. You have to qualify, and it's easy from the standpoint of they look at one of 4 different platforms that you're on, and it's YouTube, it's Twitter, it's Facebook, and it's Instagram. And so if you're impactful on one of those 4, you choose that platform and submit it, and then they'll let you know. But they don't tell you exactly how many subscribers, how many followers that you need to have on those platforms. So I know, Audrey, you're massive on LinkedIn, right?
Right.
But that isn't one of those 4.
Nope.
And we're kind of like, it makes sense that it should be, because LinkedIn Live, right? They have a live platform. They should allow for that. But they don't. Right now, it's just YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And generally, what we see is around 2 to 5,000 is kind of the ballpark. So, like, if you've got 5,000 or more followers on Twitter, we're seeing influencers get in with that range. And 2,000 is kind of the range for the other platforms. And it's a Facebook business page, not your personal page that they look at. And you'll get an answer within minutes on YouTube and Twitter. And I think it takes up to 5 days for Facebook and Instagram approvals. But once you get approved, they give you a shop. And so you get an entire shop page that you can create, put your videos on there, put shoppable photos on there. All your live streams live there, like your YouTube channel. And so, what we've gone ahead and done is we've created our own link to redirect right to our latest Amazon Live show and all of our other shows on Amazon. So because Amazon link, but it's going to be long, and nobody's going to go. Like if I were to say right now, follow Dealcasters Live at Amazon.com/shop-fusion marketing spelled MK, like no one's going to do that, right? You got to serve them up something with a call to action. So we went and bought the domain dealcasters.live and redirected it to the spot. So anytime someone wants to go, hey, how do I find your show? boom, dealcasters.live, and we stick that link in everything. We take our show, we repurpose it into a podcast like you, and we just released our 8th episode this week. And Audrey Bell Kearney is going to be on an upcoming episode. We're going to repurpose that one and put that out as a podcast as well. And, we're in everything, just like, we're just trying to be like you. We're trying to be like Noise Factory. We're trying to be like Pot Chicks. We're trying to be out everywhere. So we're on Pinterest. We just set up a TikTok. We're on all the tubes, we say, because, the more we put that link out there, the more potential we have people coming in to watch our show, and not just about getting a commission from, buying something, but we really love helping people realize that you don't have to buy a $400 mic to be an impactful podcaster. Here's a $70 mic that you can buy, and here is an interface that's on sale at $80 off. And one time, Audrey, we ended one of these episodes, and we were chatting with someone because Amazon makes sure you to talk in the chat with them. Mm-hmm. And they were wondering about some headphones and wondering about microphone, and then they kind of went away for like 10 minutes, and then they jumped back in. They said, "Okay, I just bought this. I'm starting my podcast tomorrow."
Wow. See, that's pretty cool.
That was live on a show. I wish I could save that chat. They don't allow us to save that chat, but that was worth, to me, more than any commission that we've received from Amazon. It just felt so great to know that we had that kind of impact.
Wow. I got to tell you, though, I'm not on TikTok. I got a TikTok page. I think I got one TikTok up there. But you know what, Chris, is so crazy. And I want to switch a little bit. It's so many platforms out there, right? And I'm not a big social media person. I've never been one. I love the LinkedIn, though. I love LinkedIn. Twitter, I kind of love Twitter, too. But most of my people, my connections are on LinkedIn. I think I got about 2,000 on Facebook and 1,000 or something on Instagram, something like that. Fell in love with Clubhouse. I think I burned myself out because I was on there every day for like 10 hours a day. It was crazy.
Yeah. You and me both.
Oh my God. I think I burned myself out, and I was like, okay. Someone introduced me to Clubhouse the day my mom passed away. And when I tell you, Clubhouse was so instrumental in taking my mind off of the fact that I had lost her, till I was on there at 5:00 every morning for like a week. Every morning from 5 to 10, like right before I got ready to do the show, because it was just a way for me to just like check out of the fact that she wasn't across the hall from me, which is how, she lived with me because I took care of her. And and I fell in love with Clubhouse, right? But now I'm at burnout. So are you guys doing stuff on Clubhouse right now? Because I'm at burnout right now, Chris. I'm like, oh God, it's too much.
Yeah, we are. There's a club that we've started for creators, and there's a ton of creators, and that's the other good thing about Amazon Live. The creator group is much like it is at Podfest, Audrey, where everyone is trying to help everyone else. Mm-hmm. Sharing information, and it's kind of the rising tide lifts all ships, and it's very much like that. But so we've got that club on Clubhouse. Jim and I go onto Clubhouse. Like you, I think we were burned out a little bit. And it's like every time we go on, sometimes we'll just jump on, just kind of like just to do it all of a sudden. And then, because it says Amazon Live, we end up on there for 2 hours because people have so many questions about it. I mean, it's still a new platform. I mean, Imagine the early days of YouTube. Mm-hmm. People are really inquisitive, and how can I utilize this for my business? Can I do this here? Can I do this here? And those that lean in first have a huge advantage. So there's a lot of people, especially on Clubhouse, where they see that. And so what we have to do, Audrey, is be a little more intentional and okay, we're gonna open up this room and we're gonna shut it down at this particular time, because if you just kind of leave yourself open to have anybody walk up for however long, you'll be on there for 3 hours. Mm-hmm. It really can be so we've got to be intentional about it and not let it time suck everything away from us. It's more important. And TikTok and Pinterest and all of these things that we're also on, We pick our platforms that we're most impactful with and lean into those mostly. It's the 80-20 rule. I don't spend a lot of time on TikTok. I don't spend a lot of time on Pinterest, but I know enough to be dangerous on those platforms. And so where I can take something and repurpose it somewhere else, I'll do it. But we seem to really get more impact on Twitter, more impact on Facebook. We're starting to see some things light up for us on Instagram, especially with them and shopping and that. So we'll lean into it. We really haven't done much on YouTube, even though what we do is mostly on video. So, but we try to do something different. You can't just say, okay, here's my show, it's here, and then have the same show in 4 other platforms. You want to be able to have a different offering. Then you're luring them back to other places, and eventually has a flywheel where sometimes one person could be on 5 or 6 of your platforms, as long as you're offering them something different in each one of them.
Now, let me ask you this, because I know that I love StreamYard. I use StreamYard. When you do the Amazon Live broadcast, are you doing it through StreamYard, or is there a button like Facebook Live on Amazon that you go live straight from the platform itself?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Amazon has an app for creators that is iOS only. So if you have an iPhone or an iPad and you download their creator app, everything is centered from that. And so, Jim and I, that didn't work for us. So we had to hack ourselves into the system a little bit. No, I mean, anyone can do this. This isn't some top secret thing. What that app does allow you to do is, for those of your listeners, I'm gonna throw out some acronyms here that may make your eyes blur a little bit, but trust me, that it's called RTMP, and what that allows you to do is, if let's just say, for instance, Audrey, you use StreamYard. StreamYard, you can set up a destination, just like Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or all of these platforms. You can set up a destination that's called RTMP. And so you just take these numbers from the Amazon app that they give you. It's called a stream key and a URL, and you put it into StreamYard as a destination. And so you do it one time. And so every time you launch your stream from the creator app, you launch your stream from your other software. If it's StreamYard or OBS or whatever anybody uses for their broadcast software, you have to start it from the app first, and then you go over to your software on your computer and it's there. And then you can run your show just like you would run any other show, utilizing Restream, StreamYard, or any other platform. You don't have to go live from the app, and you can repurpose it and broadcast it out to other platforms. So we'll go live on Twitter at the same time we go live on Amazon. We'll go live on Twitch the same time we go live on Amazon. We're a little tactical about what we do on Facebook and YouTube, because YouTube and Amazon don't play well together in the sandbox, and we don't want to get things pulled down. So we have to be a little tactical about that. But that creates what we call FOMO, that fear of missing out, where if you see a show that we're doing, and it was Ernie talking about on Twitter, and you want to start chatting, well, Amazon, we want you there. That creates some stock. So we always tell people, you're watching this for the party's on Amazon, go to Live, and that's where we want them, obviously.
So now I feel like, and you could tell me, so I know you're killing it in Amazon. Do you feel that what you're doing with Amazon, because I feel like you guys are the go-to right now for all things Amazon live streaming, is that affecting the cast ahead side of your business, or is it helping it?
Absolutely increasing everything I do there. So, what I do with Cast Ahead is I help motivated entrepreneurs to maximize what they want to do. So if you're someone who wants to be a keynote speaker on stage, if you're someone who is selling courses online, if you're someone that has books for sale, if you're someone that wants to launch a podcast, all of that stuff totally applies to Amazon. I just had a conversation yesterday with one of my clients who I've been working with to do these videos, and he was a guest on another client's show. So there's this sort of Venn diagram of people. It's kind of a small pool of people. You know, this person knows this person knows this person, and they had no idea about Amazon Live. And I said, yeah, well, we just broadcast this show on Amazon Live. I had all your books in the carousel, and we just had 3,000 people watch the show. And he blown away.
Wow.
So I went through a whole consultation with that client about, I went through a whole consultation about, hang on, I've got an alarm going off here.
Oh, okay.
Went through a whole consultation with the client afterward, and now there's more business for me. So it really is. That's the crazy thing, Audrey, is like, I think people think that these are separate businesses. I kind of throw it all in the same bucket because, you know, I can help people get to Amazon Live if they want to. I can help people get to the Ghana, the biggest platform and music platform in India.
Right.
It's really just about delivering what you want and where you want it.
That's right. All right. So listen, we are out of time, my man. This has been so good. And I know you're going to come back again because we got a lot of stuff we got to work together on. So we're going to come back and we're going to bring you some more of this knowledge. But right now, how can people reach out to you to find out more about how to learn about Amazon Live, how to learn how to be a great speaker, how to learn how to push their books, all of that great stuff that you just shared? How can they reach out to you for that?
Yeah, I would say castahead.net. So castahead.net will get you to everywhere I am, and you can do that. You can LinkedIn, Crypto. I respond to all of that stuff on LinkedIn, and that's a good starting point. And from there, we can take it to the world.
And Chris, what's your Facebook club on not Facebook? What's your Clubhouse club? What's the name of it?
It's question. I think it's Amazon Live Creators.
Okay.
Hang on a sec. I believe there's another one that was started, but I believe it's, hang on.
Yeah, because I think that that's going to be great too. I absolutely love Clubhouse, right? But I was doing this so much, y'all. Like I'm telling you, I was in the car. I was at the baby's birthday party on Clubhouse in January. Like I was on Clubhouse, like I was like a fiend. I was addicted to Clubhouse. Like I was just, that's how bad it was. And so I'm back on there. I do a Clubhouse every Wednesday at 4:00 called Pod Chicks, and we talk about podcasting. That's what we talk about, and how to leverage it and how to use it and all that great stuff. So, you know, if you're on Clubhouse, you can find me on the Pod Chicks or on the Audrey Bell Kearney or the Noisemaker.
Yeah, it's Amazon Creators Club is the club that we've got there.
Okay.
Yeah, and Audrey, I thank you so much for having me on your show. This has been an honor, and I'm even more honored to call you a friend.
Well, thank you, Chris, for taking this time to sit and chat with me and my audience. I really do appreciate that, and I know you're busy, but I do appreciate you taking this time. I will be calling you soon, probably next week, with more information about what we talked about earlier. So enjoy your weekend, because my weekend starts today. I start today. This is my Friday, even though I know it's Thursday, it's my Friday. So I'm starting my weekend today. So thank you again, Chris. Yeah. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
You too. Thank God it's Thursday.
Yes, sir, buddy. Yes, sir. All right, guys. Listen, this is bye, Chris. So listen, this is my Thursday. I'm going to my last song today, and I'm going to come back and give you my inspiration, and we're going to close it out. Stay tuned.
Not sure I understand it, but everything I wear my heart up on my sleeve. Yeah. I don't know if you feel the same, but every time I hear your name, my worries disappear. It's all because of you, yeah. I feel the way I do. You make my dreams come true. Yes, you do. It's all because of you, because of you, because of you.
Welcome back. So listen, guys, that's all I got for today. But before I go, I want to give you my word of inspiration. And man, this is so nice. Here goes. Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. Oh, Lord have mercy, that's so nice. Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. Maya Angelou said that, and that's got to be one of the most beautiful quotes I've ever read. And y'all know I read a lot of quotes on this show. Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. Oh my God, I think that's amazing. Listen, today is a day where someone may need you to be a rainbow in their cloud. If they do, be that person. Give them a smile, shake their hands, give them a hug if you're not afraid. Be a rainbow in somebody's cloud. They need it. That message right there came to me because I needed to share it with you, because somebody around you need to hear that message. Somebody around you need to know, you know what? I'm going to be a rainbow in your cloud right now. Oh my God, that's one of the most beautiful quotes I've ever read, and I've read a lot of them. I probably read on this show alone about 400. I got quote books all over my house. I got a jar of quotes in a jar that one of my friends bought me. I got a box of quotes upstairs that someone bought me for a gift. People know I love quotes, so listen, try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. I want to thank my guest today again, Chris Stone, Cast Ahead. Check them out, y'all. Listen, they are killing Amazon Live. When I tell you I felt like a star for real on Amazon Live with them, I felt like a star with he and Jim. I was like, oh my God, this is so freaking cool. Check them out. Check out Cast Ahead. Check out Chris Stone. Follow him on Instagram at Chris Stone. He's one of my good friends here in Gwinnett County. We're about to do some big things in Gwinnett County, and I'm excited about that. Make sure to, share this show with your friends. If you like this show, go to Apple Podcasts, find your favorite 2 episodes and give it 5 stars. I really appreciate you guys for listening. I really appreciate you guys for following me. I really appreciate you guys for supporting the show. I love you so much for that. Listen, be sure to follow me on Facebook at Good Morning Gwinnett. Follow me on Instagram at Good Morning Gwinnett. Follow me on the Twitter at GM Gwinnett. And also, download the app from the App Store. If you got an Android phone or Apple phone, we got an app for that for Good Morning Gwinnett. Download the app and share the show with your friends. I'll be back again Monday at 10 a.m. God willing. Listen, stay safe out there. Hug your loved ones. Happy April Fool's Day. Happy Easter. Stay safe. And until next time, y'all, make it a great day. Bye now.
You've been listening to Good Morning Gwinnett. Make sure to tune in Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time to find out what's happening around Gwinnett. If you like this episode, subscribe now and share with your friends. To learn more about Noise Media Network, visit noisemedia.us.